All right, I think we are live. A couple of minutes early, but that's okay. Um, welcome everybody. It's been a little bit since my last stream. It's been a crazy couple of weeks. Work has been absolutely crazy. My son and I went to
All right,
Nam
I think we are
and
live.
hung out for a
A
little
couple of
bit.
minutes early, but that's okay.
Ooh, doubling up on doubling up on audio there for a second, trying to keep an eye on the chat. Yeah. So, like I said, it has been a crazy couple of weeks. Um, work like I said, work's been crazy. Nam was absolutely amazing, and had a couple of YouTube videos come out from that from a perspective of just the general coverage. Got to hang out with Andy Timmons for about 45 seconds, which was amazing. That week or that Sunday when we got back in town, my new Keeley Muse driver, which is Andy Timmons' new signature overdrive pedal, arrived. So I played with that for a few days, and then work was crazy right again as soon as I got back. So um, glad to get back into this. I don't know if you can see the board right here. I've had some video ideas, and I've had this one in my repertoire in my bag for a little while, and I wanted to talk about themes within cinematic scores. Um, you know, there's been some of the most iconic um, soundtracks, or at least sub parts of soundtracks, have been the themes of characters or um, places within a movie. Darth Vader's theme, the theme of Interstellar, just when Matthew McConaughey's character leaves Earth, has four notes in it. um, these central themes to characters or places in songs do invoke emotion, and demand response from the audience. And so I've been wanting to touch on that because there are some contextual components around themes that it's not just the melody that creates a theme that invokes the emotional response. It's the instrument and the melody and the context that create the theme as a whole that requires that emotional response from the audience. So let's dive into Logic, and I want to show you that right off the bat it's the instrument that's part of it. So hopefully everybody can hear my piano. So we got just a standard piano, um, and I want to go through four or five different themes just to kind of show you that the context um, is just as much of importance as the instrument in which the theme is used to play, and then see if we can come up with a quick 20-second, just a little bit. I've had a melody in my head that I think would be kind of a cool theme for something. I don't know. But I wanted, being a big nerd, so I love, all the Avengers movies, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, and it's those latter two with an emphasis on Lord of the Rings and a little bit of Harry Potter that I want to use as examples of my cinematic themes, and kind of where I'm going with this. So let's start with the Lord of the Rings, the intro theme of Lord of the Rings, where Galadriel is telling the story, and this is in the Fellowship of the Ring, of course, where Galadriel is telling the story, the history of the ring, and how it was forged, and Sauron was going to poured all of his cruelty and malice and his will to dominate all life, right? So that's a very negative, it's going to be a very minor, very drawn out theme, um, and it starts off in the key of key of E minor, so right there. So the notes on the piano would be, very simple. and then it dives down with when some cellos come in. So those are the right notes of the melody of the theme of the ring itself, but it doesn't invoke a response, an emotional response, or the fear. It doesn't show the cruelty, the malice, the will to dominate all life. I'm not getting that whenever I hear it on the piano. So the original theme was played obviously with an orchestral background, but it was strings. It was an accompaniment of, I guess, violins and violas. So we're using the BBC Symphony Orchestra. This is the core model, so it's got all sorts of articulations and responses. So we're going to use the violin one legato, and let's hear what it sounds like. Same notes, same notes. Let me give you so you can see a little bit. So so right there, right? That just that context of the melody plus the right instrument with a little bit of reverb and proper articulation. I mean, as you can see here, I'm moving. This is the dynamics. So I'm not just full bore. All of these dynamic controls, the effect, the instrument, and the melody all kind of go into one for making that theme invoke the emotional response that we want from that particular music, from that particular piece. So yeah, that playing the violin part for that particular melody, just it fits so much better. And I wish I had better piano skills or better keyboard skills to be able to play the whole thing, or even had the rest of the backing accompaniment to show the importance of that. So let's continue to use that same violin, and let's show a representation of a happy theme. So after Gladriel's telling the story of the ring, she goes on to say that eventually it'll be the hobbits that shape the course of the future and shape the course of everything. So in the beginning of the Fellowship of the Ring, when Gandalf is coming into the Shire, it starts to have a much more happy theme associated with it. So the Hobbits theme is it's in D minor or D major, so it's right. It again, right notes creates a happy tone. Invokes a happy, jolly-go-lucky type of emotional response, but not the same. It's not the right texture. So again, we're sticking with the Spitfire Orchestra, but this time we're going with the flute. This is the A3 flute that comes with the core. So it's more of a. It's got that more solo first chair feel associated with it. So um, there we go. So same notes, same melody, right? So it's got that more playful melodic, light, airy feel that again just provides a little bit more color and flavor associated with the happy-go-lucky party, if you've seen the Lord of the Rings, that whole first 45 minutes is an unexpected party, celebrating Bilbo's 11st birthday, right, associated with turning 111. But Frodo's also turning, I think it was 32, 30 somewhere whenever the hobbits come to age. So they want it to. It's a joyous occasion. September 22nd is a joyous occasion, and you want that happy-go-lucky, airy. Um, but the second part of that goes into a different type of context that's more driving and flowing to show that the passage of time within the party, and the flute isn't the right context for that either. So the second part of that is the. See, it doesn't really fit. So in the movie, Howard Shore uses a more soloed type violin, and so on this one we're switching gears a little bit to the Stradivari violin from Native Instruments, and it's got dynamics and vibrato, but it's very much a soloed instrument. So in that particular portion, the second half of the Hobbit theme, it's. So it resolves much more, um, that solo instrument, at least for my ears and for watching the Lord of the Rings and the Fellowship of the Ring as much as I have. Um, it was a much more appropriate context um, to the theme that they were wanting to exhibit for the party. So let's shift gears a little bit to a more darker theme, right? The intro for Harry Potter. My wife's a huge Harry Potter fan, and I love Harry Potter too. And that would be Mr. John Williams, and I mean, he's been doing orchestral themes for forever, right? I think it was in 1976 or 77. Um, I read this somewhere. He's the only person that's ever beat himself out for an Oscar for best original movie score. And he was nominated twice that year for Close Encounters. I want to say it was Close Encounters of the Third Kind and Star Wars, and he won for Star Wars. So a sci-fi drama, but it had a classical orchestral theme that was something George Lucas wanted. So in this scenario, the intro to Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, or the Philosopher's Stone, if you read the books. I've never read the books. And it's very, very dark, very ominous. But Hedwig's theme is a one of the very first themes that you hear from the Harry Potter soundtrack, and it's in the key of E minor. So the violin does um, is not the right instrument for that, and nor is the flute. Right? It's too abrasive, and I'm trying to be very, very, very careful not to get um, copyright struck for playing music. Um, but the Celeste, right? You know, I just hit that B, that one note, and it already sounds better. It's that innocence of Hedwig and Harry Potter being a child and going into very ominous times with the return of Voldemort or he who shall not be named, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, the Celeste was the right instrument, the right contextual mechanism to deliver that theme. And right there, I want to talk about that E flat or the that D sharp in this context. It puts the theme in a melodic harmonic minor. Almost a Hermione minor there. Right? It creates that drive to resolve to that E. It creates that additional tension, yet being playful. So playful tension in a dark theme. Melodic minors are usually a little bit. They're more of a darker theme, anyways. So using that contextual background with a playful sounding instrument just further paints the picture of what John Williams was trying to deliver with the background of the Harry Potter theme for Hedwig. So right, it's got that melodic minor right there, and then there's a chromatic walk down right here. Right, you hit that D, the D flat, the C, and the B. And then it hits that D sharp E flat, and it resolves back to the E. Right, it creates that playful tension that is crucial for the introduction of Harry Potter and going to Hogwarts for his first year. So a lot of color, a lot of information given in a very few select notes, and then it sets the theme for the rest of the the half of the theme. And the violins and the cellos and everything else come in, but it's those select a dozen notes or so that really set the direction. Excuse me, that really set the direction of the rest of the theme. So, I wanted to set the tone, set the context of this week's episode of Big Nerd Streaming Live, because I've had a melody in my head around B that I think might maybe not be having piano deliver it may not be the right instrument, but at least conceptually designing the melody and setting that blueprint for what I think this theme for a character or a dark place might be. So let's see if we can develop something with with some new instruments or whatever. This particular let's yeah, blah blah blah. That's talking too much too fast. Let's see. That's all right. Let's see if I can. Let's see if we can get something going. Yeah, maybe it was up here. There we go. Now I just got to figure out what tempo that is. I wish I had my tap tempo. That's an odd time signature too. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. I want to say that's in 7/8. let's see. Where's my tap tempo button? I gotta find it. Did I set it up here? No, it's not working. That's all right. Oh, yes, I would like to enable tap tempo. Forgot about that. Yes, I would like to enable tap tempo. So, dun, dun, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. All right, now let's go tell it to do. So 161. Let's just round that down to 160. All right. Let's see. Then let's do a click track. There we go. All right. So now that we've got a tempo, let's see if we've got a. Yeah, let's lay down that tempo first. Let's lay down that. I don't like the way that looks. Custom. Where's my default? Apply defaults. I don't like the way. I don't like the way that looks, but that's okay. 1, 2, 3. Well, that's right. Let's start a new project. Close project. Don't save. Start a new project. And then we'll just add the new instruments. New instruments, new project. Let's do a dozen. Those audios. Yeah, those are. Alright, so that's a new software instrument. So let's do piano, addictive keys. Alright, and then we were at 160. Alright. Turn on click track. Turn on cycle. Alright, let's quantize you 16th note. So is that 3/4? Cancel. Maybe 7/8. Yep, I was right earlier. 7/8. Or as Cliff, my drummer would say, that's a grouping of 4 and then a grouping of 3. So yeah. All right. I think the Doctor Who theme is in 7/8 as well. Let's get some strings going. New software instruments. I want several software instruments. Let's do 8. And when I typically when I try to do orchestral stuff, I usually start at the bottom and work my way up. So I'll do outlining of the melody with the piano if possible, and then from there I'll start with bass or cello, and start to build up. So let's do that. So we want, oh, that's good. All right. So this particular one again is BBC Symphony Orchestra Core. And we're gonna do that low B going. Hopefully it's coming through pretty well on the. Hopefully it's coming pretty well on the stream. So let's do. Ooh, I like that melodic minor. So let's just play around. Let's draw this. Let's do that, and then what we'll do is we'll give it several rotations to give the idea some room to breathe, because the bass it definitely won't follow the tempo from a staccato note for note. So we want to have that the bass definitely holding down the foundation. So let's see. Something like that. If I can just play it right. So there's a concept in music theory in general. I don't know if I've talked about this or not, but basically, the lower the note, the lower the frequency, um, the farther apart the notes in a chord need to be to sound good. So, for example, right, a B minor is B D F sharp. See, that doesn't sound good. It sounds too muddy. It sounds too congested. But if I take out that middle D, right, and just have the B and the F sharp, the chord has a little bit more definition. It's a little bit more defined, a little bit more resonant. And then if I wanted to, I could add the D up here in the middle, right? So it creates some space. But normally in a bass perspective, most of the time the basses are playing the same notes. So let's play around with that and see. Yeah, missed my foot. It missed my cue. This is again. All right, let's see if we can fix that. Again, those bass notes. Yep. So I want to take this. Oop. No, I want to put you there. That'll work for now. All right. So the next one we'll call this piano, and then call this BBC bass. I'll call this BBC cello. So next, boop. All right, so let's go to the cello. All right. And if you see me futzing with a thing over here on my left hand side, I don't know if you can see it from this camera angle. I can't see it from that one either. All right, there you go. So this box right here, it's just a three slider MIDI controller, and I have it set to control overall volume. So that's the volume of the track itself. And then this controls dynamics. So, it almost fades out completely, but you can still hear it a little bit. So this is more, digging into a note. And then this particular one, I have it set to control reverb. But in here, you can tell it to, control reverb. Some of them have release. Like the long, which gives you the chording capabilities of a group of cellos, whereas legato is more designed to be fast runs or single notes. So in fact, let's come over here real fast. Yep. So let's tell it to. I want to adjust the release. So. So yeah, so normally I have it controlling reverb, so because I like reverb. So let's mirror this, and then let's do a similar cello part. Let's do that. Turn down my music a little bit. I don't know if my wife is watching. If she is, thank you. She says my music is louder than spoken audio, so yeah, I'm gonna turn down the music, turn up my microphone. Thank you for that. I don't like wearing headphones when I'm doing that. I've got these really nice speakers, so I'd much rather use those. So let's turn that down a little bit more. All right, where was I? Oh yeah, so let's see. Hopefully that sounds a little bit better. Where was it? Oh yeah, so we're gonna do a cello part and see if we can find a good foundational bass for the cello to fit in with the bass. So I can remember what I played. Let's see. You may have to play this in a couple of parts. That's all right. note. Let's bring it. There we go. All right. Let's stick with that for now. And let's put it on the line. All right, next, violin. Viola. Viola, BBC Viola. So from what I've seen and researched online, a lot of the times the viola part will be a mirror of the cello, just usually an octave higher, more or less. There's some slight variant, but we've got. So let's take that, and we're just gonna drag that down, and then. Okay, so in that one, I want to create a harmony with the cello. So that note is a F sharp 3. So turn that click off. So let's drag that up to a G. No, let's drag it up to an A. See what that does. Try another. Yep. There we go. All right. Creating some space. All right, I like where that's going. All right, next, let's do. We can do a violin as an overtone, because that's not it. More than likely, the main part will be a violin 1. We may do a flute. I don't know, something a little bit higher that has a better capabilities of staccato. We definitely want some staccato, pizzicato style for those faster notes. Having longs and the legato. We want that space for the abruptness and for the attack associated with the melodies. But for now, let's do a violin. If it's no secret, I love the BBC Orchestra stuff. I did a video when the BBC Orchestra very first came out, and I'll do a link. I'll link up the video. This was years ago, before it was free. So the Spitfire Audio's BBC Orchestra Discover is free now, and it's been free for probably a year or two. But when I first discovered it, when it was first launched, you could do your request, and if you waited 2 weeks, then they would send you a free code. So I got it for free. Or if I wanted it right then and there, it was like $49. But when you're first starting out in the studio, in your garage, in winter, you don't want to spend you don't want to spend a lot of time out there if you don't have a heater. So I was very patient and waited the 2 weeks and got my Discover license back then. So yeah, like I said, I'll link a video to give a link to that video from 2 or 3 years ago. But anyway, so long and the short, eventually I upgraded to the core to give myself the Celeste and some more articulations and different options. So the Discover doesn't have the violin 1, violin 2. It doesn't have the piano associated with it. At least it didn't when I bought it. It didn't have the A4 horns or the A3 trumpets, which are the front best of the best. So, yeah. So I much like the core. I haven't found a reason yet to dive into the professional that gives you the solo players. I got a buddy at work that has it, but he's also got a bunch of the other Spitfire stuff. I'm not at that point yet. I'm not a big enough boy for the core, or beyond the core for the professional. So anyway, let's do the violin. So this is BBC Violin 2. Yeah. So let's do a. Something simple, maybe even higher. I'm gonna turn that down a little bit. I like that flat B. Yeah, let's turn up the reverb. Let's try. Let's see if we can find a chord. So no, I don't like the chord. So that concept I was talking earlier about, notes being need to be farther apart for them to sound better in a chord. It's not the same the higher you get. So I can play. Before I played a B minor chord, and when I took out that middle D, just played the B and the F sharp. The chord had some room, had some breadth, but on violins or notes that have a high or up in the higher registry, I can play notes closer together, and the chord, still retains that width, right? So I'm playing. I can even play notes right next to each other. So like in that chord, that's a B, a D, and an E. Right? I can very distinctly hear all three notes, creating that chord. So that would be a. So if that's a B minor, that's an added sixth, right? So that's a B minor add six. So I can very distinctly hear that E in that chord. But I think in this sense, I want to have, quote unquote, the whole section of the violin twos playing just the overtone kind of as a glue note, keeping everything together. So let's try. like that. Where's my, this magic button right here, in case you can't see it, is a capture recording. So it gives me the option. Yeah, apparently I didn't do it good enough. So normally you hit that button if you're playing something and you're like, ooh, I really like that. I wish I could have captured it. You know, you hit that button and it'll capture it for you. So let's try again. Um, da, da, da. All right, now let's go figure out why that first note didn't start. Oh, it's the art. Uh, it's the articulation. So step one, when you're recording MIDI and you've got dynamic articulation, make sure it's up before you hit the button, because otherwise it's going to jump in. So let's try this again. I'm going to hit that. And I want the click too. Step two, record with the click. Step three, big nerd tips, right? Step one, make sure your dynamics are up. Step two, or tip number two, make sure you have a click. And step three, play your notes right. All right. Well, I was playing it. Oh, there we go. I like where this is going. So thanks for those two people that are watching. I suspect one of them might be my wife, but that's okay. I appreciate her watching me too. She's the whole reason why I can, do this kind of thing. All right. So let's go revisit and change. I want to change the instrument associated with the melody. Let's try. I got some new stuff. Where did I get my new stuff from? It wasn't ToneWorks. It wasn't Jamstick. I think it was UVI. Let's take a look. Quattro. Is it a harp? Let's see. No, that wasn't it. I think we've talked about this augmented orchestra before. wonder if I can just drag and drop. No sense in having to redo the performance if the performance itself is good. Let's see if that works. I don't like the Baroque. Let's try maybe this one? No. Let's see. So we got a Baroque and a... It's definitely loud. Let's go. Let's see if there's a... See if there's a preset versus going through every single... Let's try that one. Ooh, there we go. Yeah. I like that. I like that one a lot. So I think the slider allows you to, you know, drag the difference between the two. Yes. Very much yes. Very much yes with the augmented orchestra on the Marcato. All right. But I still want to do something with the piano because sometimes you just don't need. Sometimes you just gotta have the piano. All right. Let's see. Maybe if we just did a outlining of the chords. Maybe playing just bass chords with the bass. Let's try that. Well, again, step 2 and 3. Play the right notes and play to a click. put it on the line. And then we're gonna take that B minor chord. All right, so I think I like that. Now let's add the fourth dimension to this, um, and build it up. So I want to I want everything to gradually come in. So let's move things around. So let's see if we can layer these together and create a might help if I have enough of the melody going on. All right. Alright, so I don't think I put those right on the line. There we go. Then alright, so yeah, I kinda like where this is going. It's creating almost like a intro credits kind of thing. All right, let's add. So let's add. I want to add something here before the violin. Maybe some horns. Horns are always cool. Or woodwinds, maybe. We don't have anything in the super high, so let's go. Let's get a woodwind. Yeah. Turn up the reverb. Maybe harmonizing? If I can figure it out. I think I almost got it. Okay, let's. Yes, but we're gonna bring it in. We're gonna bring it in there. Is that where we want to bring it in? Yeah, we want to bring it in there. Yes. Alright, so we're going to do right there. Yeah. Oop. I think I can do that better, but I like the harmony. Here's where a synthesizer style action on a piano would be nice. I just have this is the Arturia Keylab 88 Mark 1. So it's all hammer action. Great for piano. A little bit more complicated to play some of the faster stuff, at least for a novice. Well, yeah. All right, let's try it again. Let's try it again. I think I got one take in there pretty good. I think that middle one. I think I got it there. Yep, that middle one. All right, so here's where we're going to cheat. We're going to take 3. All right, we want there. So we got, there we go. Yes. That's the awesome thing about MIDI. That's the awesome thing about MIDI right there, is that you can just copy and paste. Awesome thing about MIDI, you can just copy and paste. All right. Awesome thing about MIDI, copy paste. All right, so let's see where we go. We're gonna copy that, merge those together. And then I want to do drag and drop there, drag and drop there. Let's see. see flute. I like it. All right, I still want to do some horns. All right, where's my horns? A4. Right there. Horns make things just sound epic. So that's actually a good point. So, if you recall, I was talking about Lord of the Rings earlier, and when the Fellowship comes in, there's or the Fellowship's built. You know, now you've got 12 companions going on this epic quest, this epic journey, right? Strings just wouldn't do the contextual, the theme. It wouldn't do it justice. So having the horns come in, adds that sense of that heroicism, right? It's just there's something about horns that just makes everything more. I don't know if it's patriotic or propaganda filled or whatnot. I don't know. I've been playing that new Helldivers 2, and it's full of propaganda and um, horns just make everything sound more epic. So we're gonna have horns, but we want it. I want the piano. Maybe we just drag the piano here and add horns halfway in, maybe there. I had something going really good there for a minute. Let's see. That magic button. Yep. Just a big old pile of yep. So we're going to add that over here. Actually, I got to put that on the line. Gotta put it on the line. We're going to drag that there. And make that a little bit bigger. I think I ran into the little gremlin of the dynamics. So one thing we're going to do, because right here we've got big chord, high note, and then that, that first B, I want it to be, I want it to carry on. So we're going to take it, make this a little bit louder. Yep, that was not a good sound. I apologize for that. I apologize for that. All right. Let's see if I can do this without hurting everybody's ears this time. All right, so now, so we got this build up. I want it to come back down. So we've got good parts. So that's the climax of the theme. Horns. We got horns, piano, bass, cello, violin, viola two. The main theme with the Mikado strings, and then the harmony on the flute. Let's take these, and then what if we drop out the main theme and just have the harmony? Let's see how that works. So let's add the main theme back in with the strings. I like the piano there. Put that on the line. Take these notes. Sorry about that again. All right. Then let's drop that off halfway. All right. I like where this is going. We've been streaming for a little over an hour. Let's give it a gander from the beginning and see if there's anything else that stands out that we may need. All right. So sorry for any choppiness that might have been going on. These types of writing these types of pieces with software instruments is a little bit taxing on the system. Um, so I'm seeing less than 2% drop frame rates on OBS, and the upload seems to be good. But I'm watching the stream here and I'm seeing the choppiness on the screen as well. So my apologies to anybody who is watching. Um, let's see if we just drop that down. But yeah, so for the last couple of hour and 20 minutes for anybody that's watching, um, we took a central theme of a piece of music, went through the process of finding a good instrument associated that would be a good medium to express that particular theme. So obviously the piano, let's turn that off. So the piano can do it, but um, that doesn't necessarily mean it's the right context. Bass definitely wouldn't be it. It just doesn't. The song itself needs something that's a little bit more articulate, um, and so we ended up settling on these augmented Mercado strings. It has the attack and the release that you want for a theme, and then we harmonized it with the flute. It's got the same level of attack that you would want, and then we added horns. You know, I'm sure a horn player could probably do it, but it fits with the flute and the strings, um, just because it's got that attack and the release that's able to provide definition between the notes in the theme itself. Um, I can't think of anything else right now that that would be needed in this particular theme. We've got a little over a minute. And realistically, somebody who was writing a theme like this would probably cut it in half, but then use that context of the articulations and the attack associated with the main theme being done by the flute and the strings, and built a different direction for it. Much like John Williams did with Hedwig's theme, where they continued to use the Celeste and the single notes associated with it, but um, you know provided an underlying chord bed that gave the chord structure a direction to change. Blending in the themes, in weaving in and out of one another. A way we could do that would be to take the harmony, for example. Um, let's see if I can demo this in a quick 30 seconds or a minute or so. Um, so the harmony theme. So it's the same articulations and it's still within the key of B minor. Um, but now we're in a mode, right? Now we're more focused on the A right there, or the G. Right? So it creates a different context. It creates a different color, different palette. Um, Still staying within the notes, still staying within the same key, but uh, you're putting the a different emphasis on a different syllable, right? Putting a different emphasis on a different portion of the different note within the same scale, and that's the definition of modes in itself, right? So that's the scale that the flute itself is playing in. So putting anchoring yourself around the G instead of the B just creates a different flavor. And so John Williams and Howard Shore and Hans Zimmer and the giants of cinematic themes would take that and use that as a pivot point, to guide the pieces, to guide the next theme, and that's the bridge between the two themes. So so yeah, playing a B minor over that chord, over that new melody, um, doesn't provide the same level of color, the same level of context associated with it. I like that. I'm gonna save it. So yeah, again, same notes within the scale, just the anchor point's different, and it creates a whole different feeling. So, um, I think for the I I'm starting to ramble. So I think that might be a good place to stop, right? At least for now. I'm definitely going to save this because I like the idea and I want to see where this keeps going. Um, so yeah, so to recap, cinematic themes, around people, places, are there to invoke emotional response from the folks that are watching it or experiencing it. Um, I can remember seeing Lord of the Rings for the first time, in hearing hearing that for the first time when you're 17, 18 years old, and just that memory is just stuck with me. The same thing with Hedwig's theme, or the first time you heard the Avengers theme when Thor caught the hammer, or when he said Avengers Assemble. There's that emotional response that anchors emotion and memory in time. And I would hope, I think, any composer, any orchestrator associated with creating theme, that's the ultimate goal, is to create that emotional response to anchor that particular moment in time when you first heard that theme. So I just wanted to point out, it took me an hour, a little over almost an hour and a half to do it. That emotional response in orchestral music is not just derived from the melody; it's derived from the instrument that's delivering the melody, any associated effects that provides color to the melody, um, and then and everything else that's around it. Right? Having a minor melody sounds vastly different over a major chord than it does a minor chord. Or in this case, we were listening to the harmony of the main theme of this particular piece of music for a minute and 45 seconds. Um, it's a vastly different contextual piece. So that was my whole intent, was just to show the different nuances, at least from my perspective, of what makes up an orchestral cinematic theme. So, yeah, I will link some videos after this goes live, or after this, is archived on YouTube, for some of my other videos associated with orchestral stuff. And I appreciate the three or four folks that have been watching for the last hour and a half. Next week, I don't know if you can see on my board over here, I've got a couple of different ideas. My next one will probably be more associated with general music for heavy metal and synth stuff. I've got a couple of new synthesizer plugins I want to try, and my buddy Frank wants me to write a synth metal wave theme song for his kick streams. So I'll probably use something from this big rack of guitars, and see what we can up with. So I appreciate everybody's time today, and please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Trying to grow the channel. I'm very close to 100 subscribers. I've been at 20 or so for as long as the channel has existed. Been at 90 plus for the last couple of weeks. I'd really like to try to get to 100. So please make sure you hit that subscribe button. And I appreciate everybody's time, and have a good week.